prepared as possible. So we're here to address areas in which we get the most questions and to answer any possible questions you might have regarding the camp. Just a few housekeeping items before we jump in. Please make sure that you keep yourself muted throughout this evening. And if you have any questions, feel free to type them in the chat box and we'll have a Q&A session at the end of the presentation. And if for whatever reason we're not able to get to your questions this afternoon, we'll follow up with you tomorrow. Know that you'll want to switch to speaker view during the presentation for the best viewing. And please also be sure to change the name on your device so it reflects your own name so we know who's here. At this time, I'm going to do a little bit of introduction. So my name is Jazz. I am the director here. On this call, we have Izzy and Catherine, who are our associate directors helping us this evening. We've also have Eleanor, our nursing director, Jessica, our director of equestrian operations, and Stacy, our administrative director. We'll all be taking turns to address specific areas during the presentation this afternoon. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get started, and I'm going to pass it over to Izzy, who's going to give you guys a little bit more information on opening day and what that looks like.
Hey, so the way that we are doing opening day at camp is we're doing a drive-through drop-off. This means that you guys will receive an email I believe it's a week before the session starts. And you'll get an email giving you instructions about what time slot you'll be given to arrive. This is coordinated alphabetically by last name, and I think it's a 20-minute time slot. So we do ask that you please try to stick to these time slots just to keep everything moving along. If you're going to be running late or you get stuck in traffic, you can always give the office a call just to give us a heads up so that we're not wondering where you are. It is a pretty difficult process for first-time campers. We do understand. We can give you some tips and tools to try and speed up that process and make it a little bit easier. We do see a lot of success with our drive-through drop-off, as it means that campers can get dropped off a lot quicker. They meet their counselors like right out the bat. Their counselors are taking them up to their cabin. They help them get set up and, put their bed sheets on, equate themselves with the cabin and all the people that are in their cabin. Parents will stay in the car for this process. And someone will come to greet you at the gate. They will give you your last name on a piece of paper, and you just put that in the windscreen. They'll give you luggage tags for your child's luggage. And then you will go through and you will give nursing staff your health screening intake at the car. And we're going to be updating you guys later this protocols, but those will also be included in that conversation with the nursing staff. We'll also take the pre-camp health check sheet from you at this point. Once your camper is cleared, you will move on to luggage, where our maintenance team will collect the luggage and deliver it off to your camper's cabin. Once this happens, your child will get out of the car, meet their counselor, and it's up to us from there. We'll say goodbye to you guys. And during that first opening day, your camper will go through things like lice check, the swim test to make sure they're not needing to wear a life jacket in any of our swim lake or paddling lakes. We'll do activity signups, and your camper will just get to know camp a little bit better. So that's just a brief overview of what opening day looks like. We will send through an email with some more information about that and specific instructions. But for now, I'm going to hand it back to Stacy. She is going to be talking about forms.
Stacy, you're muted.
There we go. Trying to do too many things here on a tiny little screen. Thank you, Izzy. You guys have all received an email recently about forms and when they're due, and kind of giving you a little bit of a description about most of the forms that you'll find in your account. You'll see over on the right-hand side, there's a little picture there that has applications, forms, and documents. That's what it looks like when you log into your Camp in Touch account and click on the forms and documents section right there at the top. It'll take you over to the screen on the right. And you'll be able to see all the different forms that we require, and it'll tell you what, if you've completed them, they'll be in green. If they are overdue, they'll be in red. And if they are just there waiting to be completed, they'll be in black, as you can see here on your screen. They are all due on May the 1st, with the exception of the physician's examination form. That form can come later. We know that it does take a little while to get those appointments with your pediatrician. So don't worry about that. Just as long as we have that within a couple of weeks of your session starting, that is fantastic. And you'll also notice here on the screen that there are some forms that have a little laptop icon next to them and some that have a barcode next to them. Those barcode ones are forms that are actual physical forms that need to be printed out, completed, and signed, and then sent back to us. And you can do that in a variety of ways. You can upload them on your computer and upload them directly into your Camp in Touch. You can also use the barcode that shows up when you print out your specific camper's form and fax it to that number, and it will scan it and send it right into your Camp in Touch account. Or you can also use the Companion app, which I'll talk about a little bit later today. You can take a photo of that form and upload that directly into your account. So there's a variety of ways that you can get those forms back to us as well. And if none of those options work for you, you're also welcome to mail them back, and we can happily upload them for you as well. Everything else will be completed online, things that you can just fill out and type in right into your screen, and we'll go from there. So that's everything we've got on forms today. And if you have any questions while you complete those, please feel free to call the office. We're happy to help you through all of that. And now we're going to move into talking a little bit about communication and the ways that you can stay in touch with your camper when they are here at camp with us. And in your Camp in Touch account, you are going to see another section that shows you photos, that says email on there. And those are going to be some places where you can electronically kind of see and keep tabs on what your child is doing every day. Snail mail, of course, is gold. That's the most favorite thing. Campers love to receive physical mail when they are at camp. And after opening day, we will send you an email that tells you what cabin your camper is in. So when you're mailing in letters, please make sure you put their cabin on that envelope right underneath their name. It just makes it a lot easier to sort all the mail that comes in each day. And they will receive those letters every day after lunch during rest hour. And you can also use email. We have a two-way email system. You can log in and send your camper an email. Those get printed out at around 12 o'clock, right around lunches each day, and get delivered to campers during rest hour with the rest of their mail. And there's a program called Camp Stamps. You're going to see it right here on the screen where it says you have Camp Stamps available. It does cost $1 per email you send in, and then $1 for your camper to send a response to you. When you're sending your camper an email, this is the screen that it's going to look like to you when you're typing out your email. And you'll notice down on the bottom that there is a red arrow pointing toward a little tiny box that says, I would like a handwritten e-letter reply to this email. If you click that box, that is going to print out a blank piece of paper where your camper can write a response to you, and it's going to have a barcode, just like what your forms do. And when we scan that in, it will upload it directly to your Camp in Touch account, so you can see a camper's response. So please make sure you check that box if you would like to get a response from your camper. And sometimes they will send a response back right away. Sometimes they don't. They get really wrapped up in the fun that they're having. So don't fret too much if you haven't heard back within a day or two. It just means they're probably having a ton of fun and are carrying around an email in their backpack and forgetting to stick it in the box. And then we collect those at the end of the day around dinner time. They get uploaded, scanned into the computer, uploaded, and sent directly into your account. And you can get notifications sent to you when you have a new email in your system. Just a note, we don't have any phone calls here at Keystone, so you won't be able to talk with your camper. However, if they do have a birthday while they're at camp, then we do have a quick, short 5-minute phone call home for you to get to say happy birthday to them over the phone. And we also will send you 1 or 2 emails from your child's cabin counselor throughout their session. And as far as care packages go, we do not allow care packages at camp. However, we do work with a local organization, and you can send either a fruit basket or a decorated watermelon or both to your camper. Watermelon parties are a huge part of cabin life at Keystone, and you'll get more information on how all of that works here soon. You can also find more information in the parent section on our website as well. All right, now we're going to move into photos. We love putting up photos for you every day. We have a volunteer mom who comes each session and takes photos for us, and we upload those. We do our best to get them uploaded twice a day, and they will upload directly again to your Camp in Touch account. So you'll see here in the picture where it says online community, that's where you'll go in for your email. It's where you'll also go in to see the photos and the photo gallery from that day. We do try to name them by the date so that you can kind of keep track of where you were the last time you logged in. And you can also download them. You can order prints directly from the website. So there's a variety of ways to hold on to those memories as far as photos go. All right. So the next piece that we're going to talk about is our companion app. So our companion app is an application, a mobile application that was designed by our system database administrators, CampMinder, that's the company that we use. And Companion is the mobile app for parents. It allows you to put in what they call a training photo of your camper, and the system will use facial recognition to scan through all the photos that we put up each day and find the ones of your camper so that you can log in and see just those ones of your camper. So it's a pretty neat capability. I do highly recommend that you download that app and you upload that photo. Make sure it's a current photo so that way when the system is scanning photos this summer, it is more reliable and will be able to pick out more of those photos for you. You can also send and read your emails in the app as well, so you don't have to be near the computer to log into the system to do that. And you also have the ability, as I said before, to take photos of your completed forms and upload them through the app. So the app has a lot of capability to it, and we highly recommend that you download that and play around with it and get used to it before the summer. We also are this year going to try out a new system. We are going to partner to have a texting capability. It will not be a two-way, it will just be a one-way from us, just a quick and easy way for us to send reminders about deadlines that might be coming up before the summer, or reminders about, opening day or things like that. You will be able to opt out of that system. If you choose not to receive those emails, you can completely do that. And we're going to try it out and see how it works. So if you have any questions or feedback about that, once we start that up here in the next couple of weeks, just please give us a call at the office and we will be happy to help. All right, I am going to turn it over to Eleanor now.
Thank you, Stacy. Hi, everyone. I'm Nurse Eleanor. I just wanted to let you know I've been at Keystone for 8 years as a nurse, and I was a camper way back in the 80s for 3 years. Between all those years, it's been some of the best summers of my life, and I love my nursing job here. So I just want to go over just a couple of things. Stacy, if you'll go to the next slide. Our health center is staffed by 2 nurses who live at the health center. The health center, or the inn as it's commonly called at camp, is centrally located. The 2 nurses live there. We have a doctor on call who's 5 minutes from camp. And we are there to take care of all the campers and counselors and adult staff that are at camp. We are also there to administer all medications and take care of anyone who's not feeling well. We will be in touch with you if we have any questions about your child. If they need to see the doctor, maybe they have an earache and we take a look and it looks like an ear infection, we will call the doctor to come out and see her. If your child needs to stay with us overnight, whether they get a fever or they're just not feeling well, there's some reason they need to be with us, we will let you know. If they need a COVID test, whether it's needed or one was performed, if there's a fall or any injury at the barn, we will call. And other times we'll just call because maybe you have better advice for us to take care of your child, and we want to make it the best we can. The nurses can be reached by email. We have a camp.com, that turns on with the first session. We have a phone number that Stacy can transfer all calls to. A few tips for me for a healthy summer at camp. The most important is that a healthy camp begins at home. So we just ask that all campers arrive in their best physical health and mental health. It's also a great idea. I know during COVID, this has been beaten into everybody, but talking to your children before camp about hand washing and covering your coughs and sneezes. We do live in close community at camp with our cabins and all of our activities. And through the 3 years going into our 4th year after COVID, we have found these to be the best ways to prevent COVID, any type of viral illness at camp. Another tip is to talk to camp before it starts if there's any concerns for your child. We really want to partner with you for a successful summer. So if you have any medical concerns, any allergy concerns, please either you can email me directly or reach out to Stacy and with me. Another tip is pack appropriately and don't forget the medications, sunscreen and bug spray. And most importantly, since your campers are new, is encourage your camper if they're not feeling well to come see one of the nurses at the inn. We won't know something is wrong unless they come to us. And last is what all campers will hear from us, water and sleep. Carry and drink your water bottle every day and get enough sleep each night. It's a lot of fun being in a cabin, but camp is exhausting. So they need their sleep to stay healthy and well. All right, the next one. And then final at camp, you'll see in the bottom corner, those are blister packed medications. So all medications that come to camp, whether it's a prescribed medication, something that's over the counter like Zyrtec, or a vitamin and supplement, all needs to be blister packed. And this can only be done by a pharmacy. So we offer several ways you can do this through your home pharmacy. You can bring in everything to camp, and we have a pharmacist that comes to camp on opening day that can blister pack everything. There is a small charge with that because we're bringing in the pharmacist. The easier route for parents. Some medications may not be ready to be renewed yet or blister packed. So on opening day, you will want to have all your medications labeled and in a Ziploc bag. And if your camper is taking any medications, you will be directed to park in the parking lot and a nurse will come to you at the car side. And we will take a few minutes to go over each medication your camper is taking. Any unused medications, whether you've sent too many in for camp or you've sent in medications just for an as needed, we will return everything back to you on closing day. Typical time we give medications are breakfast, lunch, dinner, and bedtime. Breakfast and bedtime are kind of the busiest medication times. So also important to know what time of day will your child really come to get their medications. At camp, breakfast and bedtime seem to be the easiest because it works in their flow going through camp. If your child misses a medication, we will do what we can to find them throughout the day as close to that medication time. And then lastly, emergency medications with EpiPens and inhalers. Children are allowed to carry those on their person while they are at camp. Or if they prefer, we can keep them at the health center. We keep Epi in all of our first aid kits at camp. So if they are somewhere away from their EpiPen, we have Epi readily available. And inhalers, it's up to your child if they need it for like exercise-induced asthma, they can keep it with them or just come by the infirmary. It's important for all campers, but if you do have a child with allergies, please make sure they have a current photo that's uploaded so that we can share that with our kitchen staff as well. And that is it for me. I'm going to send it back over to Jazz.
Hi, so I'm going to do a little talking about homesickness. So homesickness is super normal at camp. Your child is coming to be with us anywhere between 2 to 4 weeks. And that is a big decision. And it's one of the bravest and scariest decisions that is a part of your parenting journey. You're trusting us with your child's well-being, and that takes a huge amount of courage. For the first time, you may be unaware of, exactly what they're doing, where they are at any particular moment throughout their day, and it can be very overwhelming. And we just want you to know that we understand, and we say thank you for entrusting us with the safety, well-being, and care of each of your children. Please know that homesickness is very normal. And not only is it normal, and it's extremely common for campers as they enter in their first few days. And it's normal for campers and parents. I mean, you're used to seeing them at home and functioning within your structure and routine that you have at the house. And so getting adjusted to them not being there, just like they're getting adjusted to camp, is a transitioning process for everyone. About 95% of our campers that are new report having some feeling of homesickness. And most of the time, they're more likely young and they have that little previous separation experience or no previous experience at camp, especially a sleepaway camp. And so common symptoms of homesickness are typically centered around our unstructured time. So those are times where our campers have downtime to kind of be by themselves, or they're in ebb and flow of camp that kind of reminds them of home. So meal times, breakfast, lunch, dinner, our rest hour, which is after lunch, where they get a little bit of downtime in their cabin, and bedtime, when they're going through that bedtime routine with their counselors. And we want to say also that we train our staff on homesickness throughout our staff development week, which is our training week for our staff members. And we give them tools to be prepared for those unstructured times. We give them ways to get your girls engaged and incorporated into the camp community and that feeling of belonging that that they would like to have. The Wednesday hump is when they really kind of get over that initial homesickness, and it's very rare that we have anything that exceeds beyond Wednesday. You can kind of really get them to like buy into camp by Wednesday. I mean, sometimes earlier than that. And it's just one of those things that you work through, and you give them the tools that they need to work through it. And you'll find that, with the tools that we've taught our staff and how they interact with your children, that they will write home and say, I was a little scared, but I did it. I'm proud of myself. And it was something that I was able to overcome after a little while. So how can we help? How can we all work together in a partnership to make sure that they are successful here and they are able to navigate it? So campers who believe they will become severely homesick, they often do become very homesick because they become very focused and centered around that feeling. And so in order to kind of help, prevention and doing the work before camp begins is really important to their success and rewiring their thought process. Homesickness prevention works because homesickness itself can be predicted and strategies can be implemented in advance to help your camper be successful, along with the tools and strategies that our staff have as well. So what can you do at home? If possible, plan some overnights away from home before camp. Get friends and family on board with camp. Make sure they're staying positive and about their time away from home. Remember, it's a normal feeling to be nervous about a new situation, and talk to them about ways that you've personally persevered through times like that, where you were a little homesick or maybe experiencing something for the first time. Plan on writing them via snail mail or the email system. Not too much and not enough, so that you got to find like the balance in all of it. It's super important that they do hear from you, because they do become worried. And then if you write too much, it kind of goes into what Stacy had mentioned before, where it's like, I'm having so much fun, but I have so many letters that I have to get back to. And so just making sure that you find that good balance. Make sure that when you're writing them, whether an email or snail mail, that you're not explaining all the things that they're missing at home or all the things that you're doing necessarily at home. Convey the confidence in them and their experience here at camp. It never hurts to talk about what they're doing or asking them about their day or what activities and things that they might be having going around for them in camp. And make sure that when you are writing these emails and letters, that you do not make a pickup deal. So when you do a pickup deal is like, if you make it to Wednesday, I will come get you. Or if you do this, I will come get you because you've done at least the small little bit that, that I've done. It not only tells them that, I'll save you from it, but it also doesn't give them the opportunity and experience to work through such a temporary and normal feeling. I'll share personally, I was homesick when I first came back in 2017, and this is now a place that is like a second home for me. So it is definitely something that you can work through and overcome. So instead of the pickup deal, if your child asks you, hey mom, please come get me, hey dad, please come get me, respond with something like, it sounds like you're a little nervous about camp, and feeling that way is very normal. I support you, and I know what you're going to have a great time at camp, meet lots of new friends. Even encourage them to share things that they're doing to get them to think about, what have I been doing? Mom wants to know about this. If they're taking arts and crafts and they have told you they're taking arts and crafts, hey, have you made anything? What are you thinking about making in arts and crafts? Will you make me something? Get them thinking about things that they can do to incorporate that feeling and put it into something else, but it be a more positive outcome. And like I said, it is something that's very normal. And I understand getting the letters from them that say like, I don't want to be here are very concerning, but know that it is something that we keep an eye on, especially if it's something that we're all aware of and identifying that a child is struggling with homesickness. And after that Wednesday mark, if it is a severe thing, we'll definitely be in contact with you to kind of partner together to figure out how to make it better. And it's in a very rare case that, camp just does not, that homesickness just does not work out and they don't persevere through that. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Jessica, who's going to talk a little bit about our writing program.
Hi, everyone. My name's Jessica Page. I'm the director of our horseback riding and our horsemanship programs here. This will actually be my 15th summer running the barn, so I'm super excited to get that underway. I wanted to tell you a little bit about what our program is and what we offer. So there's actually horseback riding where the girls get to come and get on a horse and take riding lessons. And then we have a separate activity called horsemanship, which focuses on all the things that they don't get to learn about while they're riding. So things like basic grooming, they go through skills progressions and learn basic first aid, and they learn a little bit about what horse ownership might look like if that's something that would interest them at some point. I'll tell you a little bit about our riding program. We focus mainly on an English hunter seat discipline. Most of our horses, like in the photo, we do walk, trot, canter, all the way up to jumping, learning things like that. We do have several Western horses available in the barn as well, even though our program is geared more towards an English type. A lot of those Western horses are smaller, so if we have girls come in that are a little bit nervous, a smaller horse sometimes helps ease that nervousness. And then sometimes we have girls that come in that go through our skills progressions rather quickly because they may already have riding experience at home. So it's just another aspect that we try to kind of introduce to them so they can learn a little bit about all around riding here. We own most of the horses here at camp. I have a year-round program that runs as well. So all of the horses that we own stay in a program throughout the year. To fill the rest of the barn, we usually have about 26. We have a really great relationship with several university programs in the country. So those horses have been in an equestrian program at school during the year. A lot of them have been competing, teaching lessons throughout the year as well, just like our horses. So the horses that we have here are very educated, very safe. We take a lot of care and pride in having those horses prepared to put into a program where the girls are not only safe, but they can learn a little bit while they're here too. Let's see. Okay, so what do you need to bring? You don't have to go out and buy a lot of clothes. It's actually quite simple. The only thing that we really require that the girls have of their own are some type of long pants, because when they do ride, we don't want the saddles rubbing their legs and things like that. Those can be just regular riding pants like in the picture here, or they can be a pair of jeans. Leggings, a lot of the girls like to wear leggings to ride in, which is perfectly acceptable. The only thing for the leggings is that we ask that they are full coverage. So the 3/4 leggings won't work. They have to go all the way to the ankle. Riding boots is another thing that we suggest that you send with your camper. And again, it doesn't have to be something that you go out and spend a lot of money on, as long as there is a small heel. So like in the picture, maybe like a 1/2 inch heel. And then the bottom of the boot has to have little to no tread. So hiking boots aren't acceptable. Any kind of like cow fine too. We just like to keep the bottom of those kind of smooth so that there's no friction in the stirrup when they ride. We do require our campers to wear a helmet when they ride, but we do provide those if you do not have one for your camper. If you would like to send a riding helmet with your camper for the summer, that is perfectly great as well. The only thing is that it has to be a certified horseback riding helmet. And if you're not sure if your helmet is certified, if you look on the inside, there should be a label that says it is ASTM SCI certified. So, but that's basically it. Pants and boots are the biggest thing that we would send, that we ask that you send. And like I said, helmets are, we provide, but if you'd like to send your own, that's perfectly fine as well. I also want to tell you a little bit about horseback riding forms. Horseback riding and horsemanship are probably one of the most popular activities at camp. We have a lot of girls that sign up for those. And I spend a lot of hours and several days before your camper even arrives to camp getting a schedule organized. And I do it for a couple different reasons. So when you go through and you start filling out your forms, horseback riding and horsemanship is a form that you will fill out as well. I suggest that you get those in sooner rather than later, just because I do spend a lot of time making sure that your daughter is placed in appropriate class. If your daughter rides at home now and is active in taking lessons or has any type of experience, I like to know that ahead of time so that they're put into an appropriate level. And then also on that form, there's a place for you to make comments. So I always am interested to hear what your daughter is most excited about at the barn, what your daughter might be nervous about. I try to do really good about keeping notes and being mindful of what each camper is concerned about as they come into camp. So if there's any questions that I didn't answer, you guys are welcome to put those in the chat and I'm happy to answer those at the end. Okay, so I think Catherine's gonna talk to you guys a little bit about some packing tips.
Hi, I'm Catherine. If you haven't switched the speaker view at this point, it might be a good idea to do so. I'm super excited to talk to y'all about packing. Not only is this something that the girls always count down to, I've definitely heard stories of girls pulling out their trunks in April or even May before their session. So it's something that y'all can do together to get really excited about camp. So this might be a little less relevant for key campers, just because you'll need less stuff because y'all are here for less time. The key is having a receptacle for all of your clothing that has hard sides. This thing right here is our trunks. It's what's most common for people to bring, which is really exciting. This one happens to be my trunk from when I was a camper, which is really fun. We want them to be kind of 16.5 inches as the max. For the trunk size, we ask that they be no larger just because it can get pretty tight in our cabins and we want to make sure that there's room for everybody's stuff. Campers will keep all of their stuff inside this trunk It's best for the organization, and it's great because it teaches kids not only to kind of keep their stuff organized, but allows them to really have autonomy over folding their clothes and making sure it gets organized the way that they would like it. For bedding, we really recommend that they bring a comforter, at least one pillow, and then some of their favorite stuffed animals to make it feel like home. They can use a sleeping bag if they wish, but since usually they're here for more than 1 or 2 days, it's more comfortable to have a proper bed with a comforter where they can move around and hang out and have it be easy. We do ask that you pack 2 sets of sheets. This is for when we do our laundry day once a week. They can switch out their bedding so that way they have something to lie down on for rest hour before they get their laundry at the end of the day. That way they have something they can tuck into if they need a nap. It's always handy. We also ask that they bring a laundry bag. That way we can take all of their laundry down once a week and have it done in our commercial laundry room. We provide towels every day for our girls. It can be a little rainy around here, so having a fresh towel every day is really handy, and that way they don't have to worry about having their own towel or maybe not having it be dry by the next time they need a shower. The fresh, clean towel will be available for them, so you don't have to worry about packing a towel for them either. They do need a sleeping bag for our cabin overnights and our other overnight for camp. A backpack and a Crazy Creek are also really handy. This is great for carrying around a bandana for rock climbing, their riding boots for horseback riding, and a water bottle, as Eleanor recommended. We recommend that they bring a shower caddy. This is super handy because it keeps all of their toiletries in one place. So toothbrush, toothpaste, shampoo, conditioner can all stay in the cabin on a shelf, easily accessible if they need to brush their teeth or need to take a shower. Our bathrooms are all inside our cabins. This kind of makes Keystone a little bit unique from other camps. We have showers and we have toilets and sinks all inside the cabin. They don't have to walk to a bathhouse to do anything, which is really handy, especially for those middle of the night bathroom runs. We recommend that they bring a few costumes. We have lovely little theme days. So a great example is Monochromatic Monday, where you can wear all blue or all pink. Another great day is Tie-Dye Tuesday, always the best, but costumes make that really fun. And if you bring a little extra here or there. Our bathing suit policy is that they either wear a one-piece or a tankini. We kind of want that midsection to be covered. The tankini is great, especially if they need to run to the bathroom, just super easy. Rain gear is very important. We are in a temperate rainforest, so it does rain frequently, and rain gear will help them continue to play without interruption. Navy shorts, a uniform shirt and ties are only worn on Sundays, but they are necessary. If you don't have a tie or you don't have a uniform shirt yet, do not worry at all. Our tuck shop is available, and Stacy will talk about that in the next session. Shoes with back straps are very important. There are 4 types of shoes that are optional to bring. Riding shoes, if you want to do riding. Shower shoes, a pair of flip-flops is always handy for that, but they'll stay in the cabin. Water shoes like Chacos or Crocs or Tevas are really handy. And then tennis shoes for any of the other sports. We do a lot of fun running around activities, and tennis shoes are the most important for those games. We also recommend them bring some kind of hiking boot if they want. That way they'll go on out of camp trips to a waterfall or to a swimming hole, and those are really nice to have for those. If you're worried about organization or your camper finding something, we recommend that you pack in mesh bags or Ziploc baggies that are clearly labeled, and that way they can find underwear, for example. It's all kind of in one section that they're able to go back to every single time. If you choose to send your camper with a horseback riding helmet, having a bag to keep that helmet in will not only keep it clean and kind of safe, it'll make it stand out from other helmets in the barn or in their cabin. So that way they know which one is theirs. We highly recommend that you pack with your camper. Like I said in the beginning, not only does it help them get super excited for camp in and of itself, but it helps them make sure that they know where everything is. Your camper needs to know to make sure that they know that they have extra t-shirts, or if they have a certain costume that they absolutely love, we want to make sure that they know where it is and we're not having to call you to say, hey, did you pack this by chance? It helps them have autonomy over their stuff. We highly recommend that you label everything with a Sharpie or clothing label. That way, if something gets left in an activity or by accident, maybe mixed up in our laundry room, we'll be able to say, oh, that is Sarah Smith's. We'll return it to her and get it to her super easy. If you have any questions about any of these packing items, feel free to drop a comment in the questions below. We'll answer them at the very end, and we'll send out a packing list for you to go over with your camper sometime in the next few days. So make sure you keep an eye out for that as well. Without further ado, Stacy is going to talk about the tuck shop, our favorite place on camp.
Awesome. All right, we're going to reshare my screen here. There we go. All right, so our tuck shop is our camp store. And in the camp store at the tuck shop, campers will visit it a couple of times or have the ability to visit it a couple of times during the day. The first time they'll visit is in the afternoon, right at the end of rest hour. It's snack time. They can come down and they can get either a drink and an ice cream or a dry snack. One of the most favorite things last summer was a Sprite and a sherbet, and they would mix them together and make these little floats. And so they'll get those after rest hour almost every day. And some campers will do it every day. Some will choose not to get a snack each day. It just depends on where they're feeling, but they're welcome to each day. Second tuck time occurs in the evening before dinner during free time. It's when they can come and get logoed merchandise. You can see the t-shirt and the Crazy Creek and the sweatpants in this picture here. They can also, there we go. You can also get anything they might need more of. So if they run out of shampoo or they need more toothpaste or they lost their toothbrush, whatever it might be, they can absolutely purchase one. And if they need one and there's not one in the tuck shop, they just have to tell a tuck mom what they need, and the tuck mom will go and get it and have it for them in the shop. And there's no need to send any money with your camper for tuck shop. It is all electronic. It all goes into your account, and you will be able to see what your camper is spending in your financial, I believe it's in the financial management section of your Camp in Touch account. I highly recommend bookmarking that. You're going to want to go to that quite often while your camper is at camp with us. And you'll be able to see what they're spending. But I highly recommend having a conversation with your camper before they come to camp about what's appropriate spending for your family and what that means. And, that may mean having one of everything might not be necessary unless that's what they want, and then that's what your family works out. So whatever is best for your family, have those conversations before they come to camp. And if not, our tuck mom, who helps with tuck every day, she has a really good tab on what campers are spending. And if it starts to get a little bit out of control, then they will, maybe have a conversation and say, hey, maybe let's just get a pencil today or something like that, to kind of help rein that in a little bit. This year, we are also going to try something a little bit different for pre-orders. So you will be able to go online. We do a pop-up shop through Shopify. We will send out that link in early April, and you'll be able to purchase the uniform and the uniform tie. You'll also be able to get the merchandise that we'll have available for the summer. And then all of those items will get packaged up before your session starts, and they'll be available for your camper on opening day. And uniforms tend to run pretty true to size. So whatever your camper is wearing at the moment will more than likely be a great size for them. If you pre-order, we will have them try them on and make sure that the uniform fits before we Sharpie their name into that uniform. So don't worry about that too much. We do ask that you avoid the denim. We do sell the navy blue shorts as part of the uniform in the tuck shop as well, if you would like. And as far as settling up, at the end of the session, you will get an invoice on closing day that lists all of your campers' purchases and your total amount due. You'll be able to take that with you, and a week later, we will process those payments for you automatically, so you don't really need to even think about it at all. And we'll have more information about how all of that works in both the parent handbook and information that comes to you over the next couple of months. So with that, I am going to turn it back over to Jazz.
All right, so now we're gonna open the chat up for questions and answers, and I've already got a few that have go ahead and roll them out. And this first one, I think Stacy, you'll probably be the best one to answer it. It says, is there any chance that assuming this might be in our email system, if there is a speech to text option for campers, and if not, that's okay?
That's a great question, and I don't know the answer to that, but I will. This is a new program for us, so we will look into that and let you know for sure.
Next question that we have, Catherine, you'll be the best one to answer this. It's related to packing in trunks. It says, what about soft trunks?
Soft trunks are totally fine. We recommend the hard sides just for the sake of organization. But if that's all you have, I don't want you going out and buying anything that you don't have to. So that's totally fine.
This next one's also for you, Catherine. Do we need to pack flashlights or headlamps?
That's a great question. Absolutely. And all of those things, as well as a few more items such as how many shirts, how many shorts, those details will all be in the packing list that I believe, Stacy, correct me if I'm wrong, that should be available right now on our website in the parent section, but we'll send it to you in an email as well.
Izzy, this next one's for you. I know we talked a little bit about opening day, but we got a question about closing day. And it says, so as new parents, you're not able to see the camp with that drop-off process that you do. So how are they going to be able to see where their child's staying at camp if they can't see it when they first go through on opening day?
So I believe last year we brought back cabin pickup on closing day, which means that you'll get to drive in. We'll have you park your car and you'll be able to go up with your camper and they can show you around camp, show you the cabin. You can meet their counselors and potentially a few of their cabin mates. And anybody correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe we're going to follow that same closing day procedure this year. So while on opening day, you won't be able to, get out of the car really and see camp and see their cabin. And I know 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 4 weeks potentially is a long time to wait to be able to meet their counselors or see what camp is really like. But when you come and pick your daughter up, you will be able to go and, get a whole tour of camp. Essentially. And you'll be able to meet their counselors as well, which is also just such a nice opportunity to see who they've been spending their time with and see what camp is really like. So yeah, that'll be your closing day procedure. And I believe we will send some information about that leading up to your child's session.
Izzy, I'm going to pop this next one over to you as well. So it says for water bottles, do you recommend packing a couple or are they washed on a certain cadence?
Water bottle washing happens. Your child's cabin gets assigned a laundry day every week. And with that laundry day, they also get assigned water bottle washing day. So your child's cabin will take their water bottles to the kitchen and all of the water bottles will go through our really super hot sanitization process in the kitchen, just to minimize those germs spreading around and to make sure your child's water bottles are keeping clean. I know occasionally some little like mud bits get in there, unfortunately, with it being so wet. So we would recommend keeping it to just one water bottle, and please, if you can, label them. We get so many lost water bottles. And if your child loses their water bottle, it's not the end of the world, because we do sell water bottles at Tuck Shop. If you forget to bring one with you, again, on opening day or any other day, they can go to Tuck Shop and buy a water bottle. But I would highly recommend sending them just with one, and having it labeled.
Our next one, Catherine, this will probably be related to what you spoke on. Do we send camp chairs?
Camp chairs as in like Crazy Creeks?
I'm assuming Crazy Creek, or even something
Okay.
that might not be a Crazy Creek.
Yeah, camp chairs or Crazy Creeks are always great to have. We at the cabin campouts, there aren't too many places to sit, so it's a handy to have at any of our functions, even some of our activities. If you're sitting and concentrating, say in camp crafts, if it's Knox Day, it's always fun to kind of be able to sit back. We do sell them at our Tuck Shop. If you don't have a camp chair or a Crazy Creek and would like to purchase one for your daughter, we have special Keystone Camp ones, which are always super popular. So you can either send it with your child or you can buy it at the Tuck Shop. Either way, they're always handy to have.
Catherine, what is a Crazy Creek?
That is such a great question. I don't have an example here, which is kind of a bummer, but it's about an 18-inch wide seat that it doesn't have legs or anything, but it kind of opens up like a clamshell, and there's two little buckles on the side. So that's it right there. And the two little buckles actually allow you to open it up. So if your buddy doesn't have a Crazy Creek, you can share it, and it can fit two people, which is really fun. And it's portable, it's fun to carry around, fun to have.
Perfect. So our next question, Eleanor, you'll be the best one to answer. It says, how should we send liquid medication?
Yes, thank you. I realized I did not mention that earlier. So liquid medication just needs to come in the original bottle. Obviously, it does not get blister packed. So we will just dispense that daily from the bottle that you send, but please make sure your child's name is written on it, first and last name. And along with any medication sent to camp, we do need to have a doctor's note. So the prescription label counts as that note, but if it's an over-the-counter or vitamin or supplement, your doctor or licensed provider will need to write a note that your child takes that. For example, if you're sending in liquid Zyrtec, on the physician exam form, there's a space, a block at the very bottom for medications at camp. So your doctor should write Zyrtec 10 milligrams or 5 mLs PO daily, meaning they take that one time a day and at what time. That gives the nurses the authority to give that medication to your camper. And that goes for everything over the counter that they'll be taking on a regular basis.
So our next one says, will key campers that are doing the shorter visit get a different list or things to pack? Catherine.
Great question. They won't, because we kind of pack per week. So the idea is to make it to the next laundry day. So it happens once a week. So by the time the key campers would have, in theory, hit that laundry day, they're already going home. So it should be enough for them to make it through their entire session with plenty of clean clothes and all of that.
And the next question is also for you. Do we need wheels on the trunks?
Nope. We have some pretty strong maintenance men who can carry them around. And then usually if there's some teamwork needed, our campers can work together to move the trunks how they would like in their cabin as well.
And then another one for you. Can you also share the recommended size of the trunk one more time?
Sure thing. It's just a height recommendation. We ask that they be no taller than 16.5 inches.
And then we just had a question. I know we mentioned it before, but are you able to see campgrounds on closing day? Yes, absolutely. As Izzy mentioned, you'll be able to walk around camp. Your child will most likely be your tour guide, so they'll have the ins and outs of camp, as Izzy mentioned before. So yes. We've got another question. Can we send them with photos of family? I'll tag this one as it relates to homesickness, and this is a preventative measure, actually. Yes, absolutely. We encourage you to send them with anything that would give them a little bit more comfortability, as it's their first time here at camp. So if you want to send them with family photos, that's more than fine. Their favorite stuffed animal. If you want to send them with maybe a special card or something that you've written, or something that's a part of your routine that's very intimate and close to them, to allow them to be a little bit more comfortable while they're away from home, by all means, whatever you feel you want to do, go for it.
Yeah. Oops, sorry. I'll add, part of the fun of packing can be fairy lights with the little clips on them, so they can hang their photos up in their bunk. Another thing is, instead of having an organizer, what a lot of girls will do is they'll do a bit of a collage of all of their photos with their friends, their family members, and their pets in this area on their trunk. So it's always fun when they open their trunk. It's a big photo gallery that they can always look at.
Absolutely. Stacy, I think you'll be the best fit for this next question. Do you have a company recommended for shipping trunks to and from camp?
Great question. We partner with our local UPS store, and you can see in your Camp in Touch account, in that forms and documents section, there is a form in there. It's really a document that has a link to their online form, and you can simply fill that out, and you'll work directly with the UPS company to either pick up the trunk at your house or drop it off at the local store, and UPS will deliver it to us before camp. And then at the end of camp, you can also choose to have it shipped home via UPS. And that document kind of gives you all the details, but I'm happy to answer any questions at any time if you have more specific questions on shipping trunks to and from camp.
Our next one, Eleanor, is towards you. It says, are they supposed to bring masks?
I do believe we have on our packing list to bring a couple. We are still going over our COVID policy for the summer. So we will send out any updated information on that. So we're still waiting to hear from the state as far as what guidelines are for camps this summer.
Stacy, next question's for you. When will we receive additional information about Mother-Daughter Weekend?
Yes, if you are attending Mother-Daughter Weekend, you will start receiving information about that near about the next 2 weeks or so, around the end of March. And there will be a packing list for that as well, to help get you started on that. So look for that in the next 2 weeks.
Perfect. Next question, Catherine. Are we able to pack snacks into the trunks?
That's a great question. Unfortunately, no. We are super careful about food in our cabins because it often invites vermin. The only things that we allow food-wise in our cabins are the fruit baskets and the watermelons. Any other snacks, we ask that you either leave in the car once you drop your child off, or throw away pre-drop-off. We'll have snacks. We'll on opening day in particular, we will have lunch almost immediately after you drop your child off. So they'll get food super quick. And then we have fresh fruit available daily in our dining hall, hungry between meals.
Can I add something, Jazz?
Yeah.
To that, sorry. I do just want to say, sometimes due to some allergies or anything, some campers may send in specific snacks. Sometimes those are kept at the health center or the infirmary, and sometimes those are kept special in the tuck shop if they have an allergy that prevents them from having something we already have. So definitely reach out if your child has any of those food allergies or other allergies, so we can talk to you before camp.
Such a good point. Thank you so much, Eleanor.
Catherine, next one's for you. Do we send backpacks?
Yes, please. If you have a backpack that your child uses on a regular basis, something that they're familiar with, that's really great. We also have do we have drawstring backpacks still? No, that's okay. We used to sell them. My apologies. Yes, if you have a backpack that your child uses, absolutely send it.
Perfect. Next one's for you, Catherine. If your child is only coming for a week, is a trunk still recommended?
We recommend something with hard sides. So that could be a hard-sided suitcase or a Rubbermaid tub of some kind. A trunk, if you don't want to make the investment, that's totally fine. Just something that's easier for them to access. That way they're not digging and kind of guessing where things are.
Izzy, this next one's for you. So it says, do the girls change schedules during camp? And then I had another question related to this, and it was like, how do they decide on their daily activities and know their schedule? So I'll just combine those together.
Cool. On opening day, we take our campus through certain rotations. So again, that's like your swim test, and activity signups is one of those. And that is where they go through and they get to talk to different staff members from different activities and pick out what they want their daily schedule to be. The other thing is, I might let Jessica speak to the horseback riding side of this. But you will need to pre-sign up for horseback riding. And so if that is something your daughter is interested in, you'll definitely need to talk about that before they head to camp. And they do need to come to camp with that already on their, I think it's in their forms system. But on that first day, they'll get to pick out their activities for their daily schedule. They will then go through essentially what a day would look like on a smaller scale. And they'll go through what each of their activity periods are. And then in order to change their activity schedule, say, they signed up for tennis and they realized, oh, I actually really don't like tennis. I want to do gymnastics instead. That's totally fine. They'll have an opportunity to, I believe in that first week, we'll do it on the Wednesday. Is that right, Jazz?
Yep.
Okay, Wednesday afternoon during free time, and they'll just come into the office and meet with one of us, and we will be able to help them change their schedule. Sometimes we aren't able to fit them into like the specific activity period that they want, but we always work to try to give them the flexibility to pick their schedule and make sure that they're signed up for the activities that they want to be signed up for, and to give them a lot of autonomy around what they choose to do. And then after that Wednesday, I believe the next opportunity would be on a Sunday.
Yep.
And then after that, they would need to stick to that schedule for another week, and they wouldn't get another opportunity until the following Sunday. So there are moments during a session where they can change their schedule, and we'll let campers know when those opportunities are. But definitely on that first day is when they'll first get to choose their activity schedules.
This next one's for you, Eleanor. It says, do we need to provide over-the-counter Motrin just in case our camper happens to get sick while there if it is not a medication they take regularly?
Yep, thank you. That's an excellent question. Our infirmary is well stocked with over-the-counter medications that they might need just on an occasional basis, like ibuprofen and Tylenol and some allergy meds, along with a plethora of other things. So no, you don't need to send that in. They'll come see the nurse and we'll assess to see what's needed. The only time you might want to is if your child maybe had a specific allergy to a dye. I try to get all dye-free, like liquid Tylenol and ibuprofen. But if your child has a very specific allergy to that, I would suggest sending in their own bottle.
Perfect. We've got a question that says, bedtime for younger kids, is there any white noise or anything like that to help? No, we do not provide any white noise or anything like that, but we do have a bedtime routine that we go through. We have circle time that we do for our campers where it gets them to kind of wind down towards the end of their day. So after they've gone through showers and after they've gone through brushing their teeth and combing their hair before bed and things of that sort, they will gather around in a circle with their counselor and they'll talk about their day, and then they'll go to bed. We have this thing that we do called flashlight time, which gives them a little bit of time at night to kind of maybe do a little reading with the headlamp before bed, or if they just want to go straight to sleep, they can. We also do reading of books for cabin wide. So counselors will read a book that the cabin selected for everyone to do it. We do have nature sounds though. I mean, we are out here in the life of just being outdoors. So you'll hear the frogs and you'll hear everything else in between. So that unfortunately no white noise, but there are other things of just like natural outdoor environment noises that she may hear that might be a little bit more peaceful to aid in that sleep. Next question is there any airport pickup or pickup to kick off camp since parents don't see camp till closing day? And the answer to that is yes. Stacy, I think you were about to hop on to answer it, so go for it.
Yeah, I was just going to say, yes, we do airport pickups. Asheville, North Carolina is the best option. It's about 30 minutes from camp. Greenville, South Carolina is also an option if necessary, but it is an hour and a half drive down a windy, curvy road to and from camp. So we highly recommend Asheville, and we do pickups both to and from camp.
Our next question says, are Kindles allowed? We are a technology-free camp, so we ask that our campers come with no technology. If they are flying into camp by themselves or for whatever reason they do come with technology, what will happen is that gets checked into the office with Stacy, and she keeps it in her office locked away, and that does not get returned to them until the end when they are going home. So we just ask that if they're coming with any kind of technology, that it stays in the car once they get out of the car, and that way they don't have to worry about toting it around because we're a technology-free camp. The only exception is if it's their birthday, they get to make that short phone call home that Stacy mentioned before. And then the last question that I've got here, Stacy, it says, are you able to request bunking with specific children?
Great question. Yes, you can do a bunk request. That is, you'll find that in your forms and documents section, and you can put in up to 3 names that you'd like to request to be in a cabin with your camper. We do our very best to accommodate all of the requests that we get, but we unfortunately don't guarantee them because there's just so many pieces, moving pieces in that puzzle that we're not able to guarantee them. But we do our very best to accommodate as many of them as we possibly can. So fill out that form. That's where we pull them from. So that form is really important to get in, and you can do up to about 3 or 4 names.
Perfect. Okay, I had 2 last questions come in. One said, our camera's technology. If they decide to bring a Polaroid camera, that is okay. Or I can't think of the name. I'm going blank right now.
Disposable camera.
Yes, a disposable. Or if they decide to bring a disposable camera, both of those are totally fine. So yes, the camera is okay. But a Polaroid or the disposable is typically what you'll see. And that a disposable camera is also something that we sell at Tuck Shop as well. Last question, do the girls get a pen pal before camp? We've never had this question before. And this is actually a really great question. Wow.
Maybe we should do that.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a great idea.
So
Yeah, I would love that.
The answer to it is no, but honestly, we might have to,
We're storing it away.
Yeah.
That's a really good suggestion.
We'll meet and talk about that this week.
Thank you so much. So without further ado, I'm gonna just thank you guys for joining us this evening. We hope that we've answered a lot of your questions and helped you feel a little bit more prepared to send your daughter to camp this summer. We look forward to meeting each and every single one of you on opening day. And as always, please give us a call if you have any questions or concerns, or if you have any more, questions that pop up at the end. Have a great night, and we can't wait to see you guys this summer. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. See you this summer.
We're so excited.